Okay. This is a video of, this is my first time taking these out, but this is a video of removing the front speakers up in the header board up here on my 2018 Kenworth W900. I watched another, you can't really find it online and Google's under W900, but I did just watch a gentleman show his video on, I think he said it was a T680, and it's the same thing. Same, you know, at least these two versions, the one he showed and the mine, are the same thing. So we don't have to mess with the headliner. We do have to take all of this out, and I have started, but I put it, kind of set it back up so you can see it. We do have to take this light out, this hook off, CB out, door off, or the CB caddy. You cannot just remove the screen. The speaker is larger than the screen back here and it's stapled in. So we will start with taking the wood trim off and go that route. So anyway, this is going to be kind of quick and dirty. Again, this is my first time doing this. These speakers, I just replaced the two up top in the bunk. So this piece right here around the cubby actually comes off after you remove this wooden trim. And like I said, I've already had it off. I just kind of stuck it up there for you guys to see it. And it's just, you just got to be very careful and start pulling it slightly all the way across like you would any other trim, just like the dash trim, etc. Once I had that off, then I took off this surround. It's got gaps in here, and up top there's little catches. So this surround goes on the outsides of this little cubby hole. So take that off, and this is just I have cameras, so that's just the camera screen. So first off, I took off this cover. There's a little hook here, and there's a cover for it. There's a little groove. Take a small screwdriver and kind of pry at it, and it'll come off. There's a screw. The gentleman I talked to, or the video I watched, he showed his caddy was already out, and so I need to see what I can do to get the order, what needs to be done here. Take the CB out, and he was saying that there's 4 screws in this unit that need to come out. Here's 1, 2, those top 2, and then there's probably 2 in the very back here. So we'll start with those. And I always use this. I have a Bosch impactor ratchet, and it works great on all these screws. They're all regular Phillips. So if you can get it in there without putting an extension on it. These are tight. Nice. Also helps if you have it on reverse. Yeah. So I'm glad I didn't strip those. Yeah. So it looks like I actually did strip that one. That wasn't very smart. So, dang it. Let's see what else I can get out. I always say, oh shoot, where did I put it? I have a little tray with a magnet in it. I usually drop my screws in that. So just try to keep track of all your screws, obviously. That's really bad. I wish I wouldn't have stripped that. Okay, so there's 2 more on the back side here, straight up. This would be a lot easier with an extension. And they're just, okay, something different. The 2 I'm taking off right now for the top, so I guess it'll be towards the front, towards the windshield, and the top of that tray. These are self-tapping. I don't know if I'll be able to show you that, or if I'm blocking your light, but it's a self-tapping screw, but still just Phillips. Alright, so it's not the easiest to get back in here. Not gonna be a good day for me to do a video. I'm dropping everything, screwing them all up. Self-tapping screw. Now I gotta have to figure out how to get that out of there. Darn it. That was pretty bad. Keeping that in mind, I did have to remove the sun visor. There's 3 bolts. You can see that it's 3 bolts, and just drop them out, put that somewhere where you're not going to break it. This bolt right here, or screw, whatever you want to call them. Now this one is a shorter screw than the other ones, shorter than the dash screws also. You can see that difference. So put the hook, I'm putting it where I put the cap. So that's out. I need to figure out how to get the light out. And again, I haven't looked at this yet, so some of you may know, and it's going to take the long way around it, but kind of learning as I go here. Pull that. Oh, okay. So this lens fits in, kind of locks in behind. So when you take this tab off, pull, and it kind of works itself out. It's got a long tab on the end of it. So watch that. Okay. So this lens, when it goes in here, it's also acting as the catch to keep the light in the hole here. So when you take that out, the light is no longer fastened into the panel there. It just comes out. So I see a screw there, right here. Okay. Standard. Okay, so this panel will now be loose. I'm going to take this light out. This little tab here. Pull this tab toward you. Try not to break the light. Jeez. Set that aside so it doesn't get scratched. Alright, so now this panel is loose. It's sitting in behind this rubber here. Okay, so there's a screw here and here. Apparently I've already taken them out and I forgot to put them back in. So those two are out. Then this one here and that one there behind the light. The sun visor bolts. Oh, I know. I was trying to run a wire up in behind there, and I pulled down right where the window splits. This panel here has two smaller pieces that kind of run together behind this caddy right at the window split, and I was trying to see if everything popped off a few weeks ago, popped off just by clips, and I wound up breaking the inside of that. So when I get it off, I'll show you where I broke it. I wish I wouldn't have stripped this screw. That's really a pain in the butt. So I think I'll pause it and try to get that out, so you're not watching me flail around, and then I'll continue from there. Okay. I don't have the screw out yet, but I've resorted to now having to drill it out. I did get a larger bit, a real fat head on it, but it didn't do the trick. That one's in there pretty tight, and since I've already screwed it up, it just doesn't want to come out. So I'm going to drill it out, and I thought, well, might as well show what I'm doing just in case somebody's never had to do that. At least show you what I'm doing. I know this drill bit is right at about the same size as the screw I'm taking out. It's slightly smaller. The threads on the screw are just wider than the bit itself, the drill bit. And so I'm drilling into the center of the screw, and that will weaken the head or take the head of the screw completely off enough where, you know, where I can pry it or it'll fall off on its own. But what I'm doing is I'm actually screwing right into the head of the screw, bolt, whatever you want to call it, since it's a machine. But that's what I need to do in order to get that piece off. I can drill all the way through to get the back end of the screw to fall out, and then if I want to put another screw in, I'd have to re-tap that hole because I'm going to round it out, make it to where it's just a smooth hole. I'd have to re-tap it and put a larger screw in there, but for what it is, I'm just going to put the other 3 screws back in, and that's probably going to be fine unless it starts rattling, and then I'll take it apart and do it correctly. But for now, my goal is just drill out that screw head, take the caddy out, and continue on with my little project of replacing the speakers. I feel really bad that I stripped that screw because it's a very rookie mistake that I've made plenty of times. I just wasn't thinking about it. So anyway, I'm going to screw this out, and we'll see if we can't get this caddy to drop. I'm going to hold on to the caddy by its strap, just in case the head of the screw breaks off. I don't want the caddy dropping and hitting everything else. Plus, it's still got wires on it. So we'll see if we can do this here. And that went right through. I'd already started drilling with the other one. So now I got to see if I can pry it a little bit. You know, actually I'm just going to use a larger drill bit just to make the head, or take more of the head of the screw out. So it will definitely separate it from the shaft of the screw, and then it should just fall off. So we'll give that a go. Okay, it's on reverse. No. Put it in forward when you're using a drill. drill bit wasn't tight enough in it. I'll tell you what, it's a tough little bugger. That's the largest bit I have in the truck, so I'm gonna have to get a screwdriver to try to pry it. I have a rather small one. It might work. Otherwise, I might need to get something with a little bit more leverage on it. I don't know yet. Yeah, it's not. It's almost like it's not drilled out enough, which is kind of odd because the bit is definitely larger than the screw was. So maybe I'll just maybe I'll wallow it out a little bit more. Not like that. There we go. I got it to turn at least. Alright, let me see what I can do here. There we go. Watch out, and you get done drilling, they're going to be hot. The drill bit and the screw will be pretty warm. And you can see what I did for those of you that have never done it before. I think maybe you can see that. This is the head of the screw. I just basically put a drill bit where the screw bit, this Phillips screw bit, would go, and just made it bigger and bigger until it got too weak to stay on the rest of it. Alright, so now that that's down, let's see. Okay, so this also pulls forward slightly. There's a catch right here. So that pulls forward. This is the antenna cable for both antennas to go in the back of the radio. This is for the speaker. It's not a PA speaker. This is the speaker and for your CB. Since the speakers go underneath the CB, they sit right here. You hook that wire up on this truck and it comes out of that, you hear it out of that speaker there. And then I'm going to remove this harness. Just a little clip you push in. See if I can do this without breaking it. Today is not my day. There we go. So just pushed. Yeah, well, I guess I could have taken and pried up a little bit on this ridge of it on this part of the harness, it is just a button. It's not on a moving piece of plastic. So you can either just kind of force it through, or slightly lift up on the edge of that while you put a little bit of tension on it, and it should come right out. Okay, that was a lot harder than it should have been. Anyway, I do have this camera set up in here. When I get it down enough, I'm going to have to watch that wire. I'm going to have to disconnect this part of it, and it should all show itself. So just, if you can just kind of tip it down, it will expose. Okay, it does catch a little bit. This is awkward. It does have a bit of a catch right on top of this. You can't even see it. Top of this panel here, it does kind of fit up underneath it, or like inside of it slightly. So you got to kind of let it drop like it did and push this back end up. So from here we can see, I'll grab the camera. From here we can see what we're looking at. Okay, so this is the speaker. It goes in the speaker harness plug, whatever you want to call it, audio or aux plug for the back of the CB that goes to the speaker over here on the driver's left side above the window. This is the power coming in to the speaker system, and it plugs into the harness that stays attached to the CB caddy. This is air horn, wiring, marker lamps, because the lamps are up there. So this is a marker lamp harness. It says it right there. Okay, so this is that speaker that works from the auxiliary port of the CB, so that you can hear it much easier. So you can see, if you ever needed to run wiring, this is an area that would be good. You could set it into this channel here. It's a pretty deep channel, about 2.5 inches. I believe that would be okay as far as weather goes. I don't think you're going to get it wet. Oh, wrong side, sorry. So now I am looking at the speaker. So here's the speaker. It's still on its wiring harness, and this is the one that I'm going to replace. This is a 4x6 OEM. It came with the truck. Now that I've got it apart, I'm not really sure that my 4-inch round will work even at an angle or cocked sideways. There is room in here to put, you know, it doesn't have to be completely flush with this. Let's see, maybe it does. It's gonna run up. Yeah, it does. So I'm gonna have to use a 4x6 again. I can't use my 4-inch round because I believe it would hit right there, because it looks like it needs to be flush with the top of that plastic, on top of this fascia panel. This is interesting. So people in that command center, or the box, the brain box or whatever, I did not know that was in there. I'm not using that. I have and Omnitracks that I got from my company that I leased to. So that's interesting. I've used PeopleNet before for OEM or electronic logs. So don't know what came off here. Beacon. Okay, so that's a factory wiring from a beacon lamp. Alright, well, I'm going to stop the video here. This is how you would get to the speaker and replace it if you have the right size speaker to replace it with, which I don't. So I guess I'll have to put it back up and buy speakers. The speakers in the rear, I did replace those yesterday. They're Polk. They're decent. It's nothing I spent a lot of money on, but they are Polk speakers. Those are 4-inch round that go back there on the top of the sleeper roof. And I was going to use, I'll go back down here. I was going to use these Polk DB series, I guess, DB Plus. Oh, this is a 5 1/4 inch. That must, I don't know, maybe they, I don't even know enough about speakers. Maybe they measure it from hole to hole, mounting hole to mounting hole. Maybe that's where they get the 5 1/4. Probably is. Anyway, that's what I was going to put up in here, but I don't think I would have anything to screw it to. I will take this one off and just try it, but it doesn't look like it's going to work for me. So anyway, that's it. You guys could probably figure it out from there. I'm not going to take off the other side because I don't have the speaker. So thanks for checking it out, and good luck. Watch those screws. Make sure, if you're not using a hand screwdriver, make sure you have that thing in reverse, unlike what I did. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.